because if peace, unity and freedom we are still having in Ugandans, we have a reason to say thank you, Jesus, because it's by your grace and it is by your mercy. However, today we're going to look into the different conversation when we are, as long as we are heading into, as long as we are participating into the nominations of our different candidates of the parties and the campaigns which are already ongoing within the different oppositions and of course the interim government. Today we want to drive into some sensitive, interesting conversation with our guests today as we look into the psychological insights into the 2026 general elections, the impacts on the citizens and the stakeholders. And joining us in this beautiful conversation is Mr. Gamukama Sulait. He is a leader or a psychologist of the lead industrial and organization. We want to find out how is he, being a psychologist, how is he doing much more in this job of ensuring that many of the voters, like Ugandans, as long as we are into this season of campaigns or whatever it could be, how are we mentally, emotionally prepared? And are you able to cast your vote in January, the 2026, the coming year? It's a good pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good morning.
And happy Independence.
Very beautiful, happy Independence too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning to everyone and good morning to Ugandans. It's my pleasure to be here this beautiful morning. Yes.
Mr. Sulait, when it comes to you being a psychologist, leading the lead industrial and organization, is it an NGO, is it a company? What does it do? Give us a brief background about it.
Well, thank you very much. I am Gamukama Sulait. I'm an industrial and organizational psychologist, and I lead a private member company called NeuroLead SMS Limited.
Okay.
It's a psychology firm. Same way that you can see a law firm,
yes,
or medical firm or anything of that sort. And this company basically offers psycho-based solutions.
Psycho-based.
Yeah, these are solutions to do with psychology, the behavior, thinking, reasoning, and how people interact and live in everyday society.
Yes.
So it's a company which offers psychological-based solutions, anything to do with human being. Yeah, behavior, mentoring behavior, solving problems that come with psycho-based issues, anything to do with that. Yes.
How long has it been in existence?
Well, I incorporated this company 1 year ago after realization that there was need for psychological services, especially from professionals.
Okay.
Because when you talk about psychology, especially in Uganda, most of the people, you tell someone I'm a psychologist, then someone will be like, can you tell me what I'm thinking? So, and others would only think about mental hospitals.
Yes, yes.
Someone thinks about psychiatrists in Butabika and all that. So I believe there was need to be able to incorporate into day-to-day activities whereby if people get challenges, let's say for example at places of work like here,
yes,
they would be able to have a place where they are going to run to. Even where we are here or in other places of work,
yes,
people always have faced challenges. People have a lot of stress ranging from family, business, loans, and they have nowhere to go. So even in organizations, you realize that few of them have put that aside to make sure that there's a place where people can go. You realize you find your colleague in the morning when you come to work, he doesn't want to talk to you,
and
you wonder what's the problem.
Yes,
maybe this lady was beaten yesterday by the husband.
Yeah.
So he needs to first of all reach to a psychologist, get the services, and then this person can be able to work very well. But not only that, when we also look at organizational structures, because for me I'm so much into organizations,
yes,
we do things to do with recruitment and selection process of employees.
Yes.
So that we do away with problems whereby people are saying you are being employed or hired because of favoritism or because you come from a specific type of people.
Exactly.
And also even at work as well, we go so much to do assessment programs. So we head up the human resource department to make sure that we have quality employees in organizations, and if there is need, we don't say these people should be chased away, but we bring about programs which can facilitate motivate them to ensure that they can become employees. We can also do what you call freelance services by organizations like, for example, we have in Uganda Employee of the Year Award. You know, all these things need a psychologist, an industrial psychologist who understands the workplace and behavior of people to make sure that at least we have productivity. So psychology is a very, very big discipline, starting from the time a child is born until maybe someone passes away. So that's why it is something that it must be incorporated in day-to-day activity, and that is how the organization started, and it has been running.
Like one who is having experience about it, maybe before we get into the elections part, our viewers out there would love to understand, how does this come about? Someone to be psychologically tortured, being emotionally tortured. I think just give us a highlight about it.
Thank you very much. Psychology is simply the study of human behavior. So human behavior is always triggered by various factors. So we have very many challenges. We have something called the cognitive system. So the cognitive system is the brain. Your brain is your cognitive system, and this cognitive system has something called neurons. Neurons are like communication signals, the same way you see network. You call a phone and say it's not going through. What's the problem? That is the signals which transfer that information for you to be able to talk to another person. Those are signals, but in the brain aspect of it, we call them neurons. So any problem that you get sometimes can be from either anxiety or depression or fear or excitement. It doesn't have only to be problems, no, even excitement. That's why we say that sometimes it's not good to be excited. So you might trigger these neurons to respond in the opposite way. Sometimes they can respond in the positive way or in the negative way, depending on which situation that you're facing. So it comes from so many things, either excitement, either depression, anxiety. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You have problems, you have this, you have rejection, you don't feel your worth. So at the end of the day, you find someone locking herself in the room and even committing other dangerous things like suicide. Of recent, there's a guy, I was told about the case, but after something had happened, he was selling flowers just here in downtown. The guy was fine at work like today. After a few days, like 2 days, 3 days, they said they found the guy in the house. He had hung himself. The guy is a very young man, below 30 years. He had killed himself. So it means that we need, as we are developing, because Uganda is a developing country, as we are developing, we need to incorporate this. We need to see various hubs. We need to see programs coming up. You know, even in social events, we need to include these people. So we need to do programs that can help our society and our people to ensure that their minds are okay, their minds are fine. So if you have that, we can have a health society whereby everyone does not do things that you don't expect. I would also give an example. I was just watching news 2 days ago. I saw a police officer who slapped a lady. Did you see that?
Not really.
In a supermarket?
Not really.
Because this lady, the guy was saying, how can you ask this 30,000? You think I'm going to run away with this money? And eventually the guy slapped the lady, and the lady lost one tooth. Yesterday the police managed, the spokesperson said that the police has this guy. So as a psychologist, when we look at this, we don't look at it in this exchange that they had of 30,000. We believe that this person must be investigated when it comes to his cognitive issues. This person must be having a psycho-based problem. So you need to analyze this. Who is this person? Where does he stay? What does he do? How long has he been in this job area? Which environment? So before you realize that this person has a problem psychologically that needs a psychologist. So if you have such challenges, you realize that people do things that will even make you wonder as a person.
So maybe give us, when it comes to the organizations, especially I think it's where most of the workers have encountered these challenges and problems, and maybe our bosses may not be able to analyze these. How have you helped them?
We are trying our best to first of all give information. The same way I want to thank this Family TV for this platform is the way we are doing. We are giving out, first of all, information for the workplaces to understand that the human factor, the human capital, the people that they are using, this is a resource. But these are humans.
Yes,
So
yes.
these people have also challenges. They have issues. So they need a department. The human resource must be equipped to have a department whereby, because sometimes you realize that the people even fear their human resource manager.
That's right.
They fear to expose because they are like, if I say this, maybe I'll be terminated. Tomorrow I'll not get a leave if I need to get it. So at the end of the day, we need to have a specific kind of capacity at the workplace whereby these people can go, sit, talk to this person, say tomorrow I'm not going to work, it's off work, this matter doesn't relate with my work or anything, but I need space, I need to be alone, I need to move out, I need to go to the beach, I need to take a tour, I need to relate with my family. So at the end of the day, you realize that you're going to have a productive workplace because everyone is going to be mentally stable. But if you leave it at that, maybe you delay to pay people salary and someone is depressed. He's going to come and mess up with everything.
That's right.
Someone is going to come and steal over 1 billion at the place of work, but his problem has been like for 1 million or 2 million. But someone is going to steal money. Why? He has no capacity, he has no place that has been put for him to come and say, I have this kind of problem. When we also look at compensations and other things, there is a lot of things that organizations need to do to ensure that the workplace is okay and the employees are okay. And even the bosses themselves are okay, because even them, they're human beings.
Oh, yes.
Even the HR is a human being,
yes,
including the CEO.
Oh, yes.
So they also have, sometimes they have what we call overload. We call it cognitive overload. You have too much on you and you need to be alone. Sometimes sometimes as psychologists, that's why we say that it's okay to cry.
To try.
Yes, to cry.
To cry.
Yes.
To bring out that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, to bring out that.
I think it's
that
the best
pain.
way to do.
Yes, you go somewhere, sit somewhere. If it's too much on you, cry. Then you come back and move on. Yeah. So that is just one of the mechanisms, but also there are others that can be implemented to ensure that you're generally okay. Because a health mind, you cannot do anything without a health mind.
It can do.
You cannot. You wake up in the morning, you have low self-esteem.
Yes.
You say, you feel the world is just putting you in just a small space. Yeah, so that's why I started up that company, and I'm trying my level best, first of all, to sensitize through various media platforms to make sure that at least I also reach out to a few organizations. I also write to a few stakeholders. We have what we call the Psychological Association of Uganda. I write to them, I tell them that there is need for us to come up with this problem, to come up with these issues to ensure that we can solve such issues. Even in communities, there's a lot of challenges in communities. Girl children are being raped and they have nowhere to run to. There's a lot. We find a very old man raping a very young girl. So there's a lot of things that this discipline must even go, because even someone might be afraid to first of all go to the police to report the case. Yes, he's afraid. So even after such has happened, is feeling worthless. So is there a place where it is neutral, safe and secure, where you can go and be like, this is what is happening, how do I go, how do I walk throughout this problem? Yeah, and that's what we briefly do at NeuroLead.
It's interesting that such kinds of issues, we take them as for granted, but they're really very, very big and sensitive. Now, after all the information you've given us, what to do, when it comes to the elections, what prompted you now to drive? Since we are entering into the 2026, every person, what's happening, what is going on, people are anxious, people are desperate. Others have been planning to go back to the village.
Very correct.
Because someone say, how will I stay after seeing the 2021 elections, what happened? So what did you now to enter into these elections when it comes to this psychological?
Thank you very much. Maybe first of all, elections, the elections, as we are heading to elections, is a very important and integral part in our country's history. So before I even talk about that, I want us to look at the previous elections that we have been having as a country. You realize that for the last 500 years, Uganda has never had peaceful elections, especially only we have had peaceful elections for the last, I think, 40 years during this current regime. But before that, we didn't have even I think a peaceful handover of power. We have never experienced. We have never experienced something like that. So this simply means that as we are heading for elections, looking back at our country's history, because today is independence, we need to understand that our country's elections have been having a lot of post-election trauma and violence. So it means that considering our history, we need to have a program very prepared, that as we are heading for these elections, we can be able to prevent what has been happening in the past. So Article 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda clearly states it that it is a right of all Ugandans to participate in elections, to vote their leaders. So now, as we are heading for elections, our fellow people need to understand that elections are not just a mere event. No. It's not an event. Election is a process. And the process comes with experiences. These experiences include anxiety, depression, emotion, excitement, hope, fear, etc. That is the election. So as we are going to vote in our leaders, it is very important to understand from the stakeholders aspect that the elections we are going to is not just an event. Just we are the same way you can go to a birthday party, you dance and you go back home. No. We have already started even before the election to see some of the things that we are talking about. So as NeuroLead, we are saying, as we are going for this process, as we are going for this process, we need to understand what can trigger, first of all, the anxiety, the depression, the excitement, the fear, you see, the hope that comes with the elections. And what happens at the end of the day if after elections the hope is not attended to?
What do you do?
So this is one of the things that we are going to talk about today. Yes. So what impact does it going to have on the next elections? And where does it leave the people who have been very hopeful in these elections? I have invested 2 billion UGX to go into these elections, thinking I'm going to win.
And
then immediately I lose miserably.
So when you see chaoses arising.
Thank you. This is where you're going to see issues. So this means that as a country in developing democracy, we need to have a program for our stakeholders. Be it one, the stakeholders that are in this. We have one, first of all, we have the Electoral Commission.
Yes.
The Electoral Commission is a very integral part of the body because it's responsible for organizing these elections.
It's the head.
Yes.
The biggest.
Thank you very much. Now, with the Electoral Commission, if these people, the people who are going to be conducting this program are not prepared psychologically, they cannot deliver.
They will not deliver.
Because even during the elections, these people are going to face a lot of pressure. One that comes from the candidates, that comes from their bosses, and that comes from even the voters.
Because we want it to happen.
Thank you very much. So you might be, you as a person conducting this, if you're not prepared very well, you might deliver less expected. So these people need to have a camp before they go into this process. The same way we have legal logistics. They prepare the legal team after elections, what is going to come. The same way we are going to have other teams being assembled. The Electoral Commission, first of all, must be prepared psychologically, have an induction program, tell these people you are going to conduct, to supervise this process, but you're going to deal with human beings who have emotions. You are going to experience pressure from us, but this is how you're supposed to handle it.
They're supposed to live at their roles.
Exactly.
Supposed to what they're supposed
exactly. To. So that means that that in that area, those people are supposed to be looked at. Then we have also what we call the government itself. The government is a big stakeholder in this election because the government is going to prepare the elections. The government, us, we are the government, the people. We are going to conduct the elections. And then we have everything, even the elections must be protected by the government. So the government also needs to play an integral part to ensure that as we go into the election, there is a prepared mind. It's very important to prepare the minds of the voters and also the ballot. Then we also have the youth, like me.
Yes.
The youth are going for this election for only one reason. Do you know that? They are going for this election for only one thing: inspiration. Inspiration and inclusion. They are first-time voters who have never voted, 35 years and below. So these people, they want, that's why you see, brought an example in Kenya. Most of the times I'm in Kenya, I have benchmarked in Kenya, and I've seen the Gen Zs, where the problem, I remember the last demonstration for Gen Zs, I was in a hotel for 3 days in Nairobi CBD without leaving. So I started to ask myself, I had went to benchmark and see what brings this problem here. I realized that these people were striking and demonstrating and causing havoc because of inclusion. They simply wanted to be part of the decision-making body of the government. So if I was the president of the Kenya, that demonstration would not be there even for 3 days.
Kenya is having the worst when it comes to the elections.
Exactly.
It's the worst
because they are not prepared. So here, us in Uganda, we are saying, we understand as youth the only thing which can make the youth to say, look, we are going to do this, we are going to demonstrate, we are going to protest, we are going to do this. It is only one thing, inclusion. So as these people go into the election, you have to sell the message of inclusion. Yes. You have to show them that they are going, because once that happens, they are going to have what we call a sense of self-satisfaction. And that is where psychology comes in. When you have a sense, a feeling of self-satisfaction, you say, as youth, now we have over 4 ministers, we have 2 ministers, we have this and this. So you're going to find that the youth are pushing for the development of the country rather than engaging into uncalled off behavior. So that's why we come in and say that as we go into, one of the major stakeholders are the youth, and they are heading into this for only inclusion and also self-satisfaction. We also look at what we call the professionals and the business world. They are simply going for elections because of job security.
Actually, you're talking the truth.
Yes.
That's what
people are asking themselves, after 2025,
what is going to happen?
Will I have my job? I wake up, I come here. So they are going to vote because they need to have their jobs retained. They need to wake up tomorrow and they go to work. So it means that if you're going to the election as someone conducting it, as a candidate, you need to sell out that message that let us vote, but ensure, because when you sleep today as a Ugandan, you wake up as a Ugandan. So you need to make sure that you understand from that dynamic and how do you handle that from the psychological aspect. Now, the job security is very, very important for these people. Then we also look at the business world. These people are looking for what we call economic confidence. They are crying of heavy taxes. They are crying of rent. They are crying of this and this, IFRIs, what, all these problems. This is called economic confidence. So if you delivering this message from the psychological angle of it, tell them that, you know what, after these elections, you are going to have this and this reduced for you. And actually do it, because if you don't do it, still you are going to get a very big problem. Why? Because their mind is going to be already corrupted by what you told them. So as psychologists, we are saying, as we are going there as candidates, that is another part of the big prayers. Let us sell the right information. The social media, it is also another big player in this. We should know which information that we are selling to the public, because the information we are selling to our people from the psychological aspect of it can create anxiety. We are people anxious of what is going to happen. When you wake up and tell someone who has never been even to parliament or even to a local council meeting, and you tell him tomorrow we are going to Entebbe State House, this person might not even sleep.
Yes, because wondering the first
how is it going to be? So you have
sold
sold message deception. You are just lying to this person. So you are creating a society which is going to have a challenge, because they have what we call cognitive overload. They have a lot of expectations. I see some candidates are even called the president. You see, because someone is looking at you as a president. This is psychological. Someone says this is president. He's a president, and someone addresses someone as a president of Uganda, but he's not a president. So this person is not jokes. This is something which needs to be attended to. Thank you. So as we head to election, if you create such a force, such a person, and then at the end of the day, you don't fulfill what you talked about, you live a disgruntled society. When you look at, for example, let's look at what we call still on the anxiety bit of it. There are people who are going to the villages because they don't know what's coming. They think maybe there will be protests, there will be strikes, there will be this and this. So from the psychological aspect of it, is there a program put on this channel like Family TV, sponsored by the developing partners, to make sure that at least every day this channel is airing out information, going to the public, telling them that after this process, everything is going to be okay.
Yes.
You can vote. After voting, you do this and this. So when you do that, it is going to help to have a peaceful election, but also it is going to have a peaceful mind, because a health mind equals a health nation.
Yes.
So we have, as I said, even the mainstream media like this one. The media can fuel emotions, reporting in the reporting line.
Yes.
So you realize during the submission of elections during the last election cycle, people were reporting anyhow. Someone says, we have got these provision results from here, you don't have even proof that you have got them, you do this, you do this. So you put people on fire. So by the time they finish to count, it is actually the opposite. So what do you expect from the society? You have already triggered their mind. Yes, to think in that light.
All right, I was to get into a quick commercial break, then we come back still with Mr. Gamukama. Yes,
thank you.
We are still having a beautiful conversation when it comes to the psychological, when we are heading into the 2026 general elections. Viewers out there, get to know this as early as better, as early as possible, just that you are emotionally stable, physically stable, and so many other things. You'll be able to listen unto them after the break.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
All right, and welcome back from the quick commercial break. We are still having a beautiful conversation as we are looking into the psychological insights into the 2026 general elections, the impacts on the citizens and the stakeholders. What are we supposed to do, most especially all the leaders who are ensuring that they are playing a role to ensure that the elections move on well as expected? I know most of you who are watching us, you may be having your thoughts that maybe Mr. Sulait, that to me, I no longer have hopes in this elections, and I don't think I'm going to cast in my vote. Why should I cast in my vote? Already someone has decided, or someone has already concluded that the current government is really going to take over, and we people who are trying to engage into this have no future. So let's start from there.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, it is very, very dangerous to accept to participate in an election where you don't believe that it will give the right ruling, where you don't believe that they will declare you
a winner.
So yes,
see it as impossible.
Yes, so it's very dangerous, because in the first place, why do you participate in elections when you feel they will not declare you? So you see, that is where it comes to the psychological aspect of it. So either you are fooling yourself or you are fooling your voters.
By the way.
So, or you don't actually understand what you are doing. So you need the psychological intervention to tell you that, please, this is how it is supposed to be done. Because everyone who has participated in this electoral process must be willing to accept the results 100%. Because, I mean, when you say, yes, because when you say that they have stolen us in the first time,
and how?
then tomorrow you go again, you participate with the same electoral body, the same person declared last time. So, I mean, there's a lot of things as Ugandans, because now we are talking about on their mental health.
Yes.
We don't need people to be confused. So at the end of the day, it means because you are a self-seeker, you need votes, you need to be there, you need to do this, and you have other maybe agendas. That's when you're going to bring what we call the cognitive biases and feed the wrong information in your voters. That, you know what, they are not going to declare us, so we are not participating in an election. That is not right.
It's like it's obvious. It's an obvious
yes,
thing.
so if it is obvious, don't participate. Sit at home, leave the man, then they declare him. So that is reality.
Yes.
And that is the mental aspect of it. Because if you do assessment of that from the psychological aspect of it, you don't see any sense. So we are saying we need to tell the people the right thing. You are going for the elections, you expect either to win or to lose. That is now on the mental aspect of it. Because no matter everything, your mental well-being is very important. Because if you don't have a prepared mind, that is when you're going to say, it's obvious, we are told we are going to elections and they are going to steal it. And after, now you go and protest. Tomorrow you'll be arrested, you're taken away. Yes, we have a lot of youth who are still up to today hold incommunicado. We have a lot of people who told them to go and protest and do whatever. These people are enjoying with their families. They are doing well. So it's very wrong for a youth like me to participate in a process. You go in with bias, we call it cognitive bias. You say, I lost hope, I lost everything. So if you say you lost hope, you lost everything, then don't participate for your mental well-being. You wait for the person they want, they declare him, he occupies the office. So for me, if I meet any leader, as a psychologist, I would advise him that, please, as you participate in anything, expect either to win or to lose. It is the same even with relationship. When you go into relationship, you don't expect everything to be okay.
No.
So there are ups and downs. So because there are downs, you don't say that, let me give up on relationship. If you fear downs and ups, then you do what? You give up. You say, for me, I've given up. I'm going to be single until I die. So it's the same with what we are going for. So I as a psychologist, someone who has done a lot of research about mental systems, I would advise people to it's non-political. It's non-political, but to throw away such kind of thinking. There's something we call garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
So from the psychological aspect of it, I would urge you people to bring the garbage, what is not supposed to be in their mind, it should not be in their mind. Let them put in, we are in election, yes, I'm a voter, yes, I'm going to vote, I have already accepted
just
whatever
to
comes.
interfere a little bit, when it comes to the opposition parties,
Yes.
I think this is the one, the majority of them who are psychologically tortured.
Yes.
When it comes to the NUP, if you look at that, the influence that those youth have been initiated in, and we ask ourselves wondering, what is the reason as to why someone will just influence their minds, you know, putting in you that picture that this is supposed to be this. And I think there is a lot that, I don't know, these leaders, if they get to know this, if they get to know that this information, it will be overhelp to them. So when you look at those youths who are on the opposition part, that the majority of them, when they talk about demonstration, protesting, for them it's something which is kind of weird and different. They have no peaceful protection. For them, all they want is the chitwada. Either it feels
Okay.
Yes.
So now, first of all, that is wrong, because we are in a democratic state. There are very different types of states. We have something called a democratic state, whereby the majority determine the order of the day. The person who gets the highest number of votes becomes the leader of that society. So it is a state whereby people, they elect their leaders through a secret ballot. So that is the state that we have in Uganda as we celebrate this independence. But also we have other states like the federal state and monarchs, like for example, which are led by kings. So such kind of governments, they are authoritarian in nature. A king determines what to do, when to do, and how to do it. Yeah, but in a democratic state, you don't dictate for people. So if those people that you talked about, they're interested in participating in a democratic state, which is called for in the constitution, which we abide for as the citizens, I believe that they should be able to throw away that idea of saying in Chitwala, because at the end of the day, that is where all the mental issues come from. Yeah, when you participate in politics globally, you don't expect only to win. When you look at the former president of the USA, actually current president of the USA, Donald Trump, His Excellency Donald Trump, you realize that this guy is a billionaire, one of the richest people in the world. He participated in an election with Biden, and he lost an election. The best you could do for his country, it was to concede and say, I have been defeated successfully. So he went back, re-strategized, and came back and participated and won the election. So this one was a protective mechanism to the Americans, because just one statement saying that we have been rigged and done this, it can destroy a lot of things. When it comes to the economy, regional a lot of things can be destroyed. So it is rather not okay to say that we are going to protest, we are going to do this. I don't want to sound so political, but I want to advise from the mental aspect of it, that you create a false world. Because I mean, if you are going to demonstrate, we are going to demonstrate from where? This is democracy. You accepted, you participated. Now, if you don't want to participate, that is also another way, of which I don't believe that democracy calls for that, and the constitution that we abide to. So it is rather very important for us to participate in a process. Like I would use Dr. Kiza Besigye. He said, I'm not going to participate in these elections. Yes, even last elections he didn't participate. Why didn't he participate? Because there was a lot of pressure coming from people saying, if you say they have stolen you for the last 25 years and you're participating in the same process, then he was fooling who? So it means that the guy gave up and said, I'm not going to participate. It was better for the people and for the society. Why? Because at the end of the day, he didn't create that false situation. So I would urge my brothers from all aspects, whether you're in leadership, in government, in opposition, that us as citizens, we want to see a Uganda that is prospering. Let me tell you something. If you've moved to countries, if you've been to various parts, even Africa alone, because me, I've been privileged to travel to more than 10 countries. I've been to Ghana, I've been to Nigeria, and so many other African countries. I would quote only African countries. But because of the peace that is prevailing, because of the respect of rule of law, because of the democratic process, that's the processes that are applying, these countries are developing. So you cannot rule out the fact that our country for the last 500 years, we have been in instabilities. So if at least for the last 40 years, we have somewhere we have reached, I believe that it's very important to maintain what we have so far. So it is rather better to maintain rather than distracting. So we believe change is paramount, and every nation would love to have change. That is why electoral commissions organize elections for people to participate in elections and choose the right leader. So the matter of winning and losing is not determined by anyone, it's determined by voters. If you have 20 million votes, how can they steal you? It's obvious they will not steal. Even when they steal, they can steal, and they fail to make all these votes into their favor. So it is rather important from the psychological dimension of it to first leave all other cognitive biases and now concentrate on how do we look for votes and make sure that we have as much votes as possible. I'm telling you, because I have also managed to travel around this country. I'm telling you, some people who say this and that, when you go deeper, you get a different image. Yeah, because I'm a Ugandan as well, I'm a voter. I also make my own research. So when I compare that with what people are saying, I realize now there's a contradiction. So it means now there's need for people to harmonize their mental system and now start thinking how we can have the reality in check. How can we make sure that we have our voters protected, their mental systems, how can we have a Uganda that is growing? So to me, I think that is something that is better and that can help our society live in harmony and in peace.
Talk about the campaigns which are already ongoing. How have they impacted the well-being of the citizens?
Thank you. The campaigns, so far, I have not seen a lot of violence. In campaigns. Yeah, maybe people have learned from the past, because in 2021 we had a lot of violences. So but now I am impressed that at least people, especially the youth, they are tired of really being used, because as you go for these elections as a youth, it is very, very important to put your mental system in check, to think for yourself, to reason for yourself, to judge for yourself. So there are only 3 important things in life from the psychological aspect: thinking, reasoning, and judgment. If you score low on 3 things, then life is going to be a mess on you. Anything that you approach, let's say in this context, these elections, you must of all apply the thinking aspect of it. I am going to do this and this. But what if this happens tomorrow? Who is going to feed my family? Who is going to pay school fees for my children? Who is going to sleep where I stay? Who is going to do this? Who is going to finish my projects? That is thinking. So what if I lose my eye, like you lose your eye? Where are you going to buy another eye? So at the end of the day, we are not suppressing such voices that say they need to take that path. It's their path. But from the psycho-based approach of it, we need to think out the situation. Then we have got something called reason. After thinking about something, you need to reason out. You say, okay, I've thought about this and this. I need to go to the party. I need to go to visit my friend. I need to do this. But okay, which one is better?
Yes.
That is now reasoning. So you reason and say, okay, this and this and this and this. I think this one is the best. So from reasoning, then you do what you call judging.
Now you judge.
You take the best decision. Now, when we are doing judgment, and I want also a lot of people, even people who are doing in courts of laws and others, to always apply this. We use 2 types of judgment. We use something called abductive judgment, and we also use something called deductive judgment. So abductive judgment, deductive judgment is starting from the bottom going up. Abductive, you start from up, you go bottom. So in every situation that you face, you need to look at it in 2 angles. I've made a decision. I've decided to make this decision. From the top of it, how does it benefit me? From the down of it, how does it affect me? That is called deductive judgment. So there are 3 important aspects as psychologists we are advising the population. They should apply thinking, reasoning, and judgment of any situation that they face forward during the elections. When they do that, we are going to have a clearly stable country mentally, and we're going to have a health society. Because I'm telling you, without mental health, my dear, even you cannot be here.
Oh yes, you cannot.
Right now you cannot. You see a lot of crazy people outside there, crazy. You see others, they are throwing stones. It started in stages. So someone doesn't just come up and gets a mental condition.
It's an influence.
Yes. Yes, it's influenced by various factors.
Okay.
So you realize that from this you're going to now start, you feel so bad, you get depressed, you get anxiety, you get depression, you get a mental disorder. So because of depression, now you're going to start using, maybe if you've not been taking a lot of alcohol, you're going to sleep in bars. Because for you think that if you take this, you're going to forget your problems, which is not a reality. Because the moment the other one goes off your head, again, the problem will come to you. So you're going to start now engaging in activities, smoking, taking weed. Now you're going to go for rehabilitation. So we shall send you to our partners in Butabika. So at the end of the day, we believe that it's the right moment now, though this discipline has not been given a lot of attention, but it's a discipline whereby we should have such of kind of orientations, programs, even parents watching with their children. It's very important. Because the children need to understand the do's and don'ts, how they can be able to maneuver Because as a psychologist, if you give me your child, I can be able to determine. We do what we call personality tests. Even on you, I can do a test and find out which area you are supposed to work from. How best can you be productive? Because sometimes you can be somewhere you think you are in the right place, but you're in the wrong place. I gave like 13 personality tests last month for free. I gave them to people. But you realize you'd find out that because we have big 5 personality traits, we have what we call openness to experience. We have those are people who are open to everything. So if you're in a conversations, they're okay, you can joke with them, you can laugh with them. So, but there are other people, you take things as a joking, he feels annoyed. So those people are not in that category. We have others called the agreeable people. That's a type of personality whereby these people, they like to cooperate and work with each other. They help each other. They can. It's easier when you say you work with this person. We have what we call the neurotics. These are loners. You know, they need to be alone. They don't find joy in jokes. You know, they don't find that. So they are introverted. They are self-centered. They want to be alone somewhere. And not every time you're joking with them. For you think you're joking, but you're creating hatred towards them. So such kind of people, they are also there. So we also have extroversions, the outgoing people. So we need to understand you yourself. You need to understand yourself. If I'm an extroversion, I'm an introversion, I'm agreeableness, openness, experience. Where do I need to work?
Yes.
How should my life be? What are some of the things that make me happy? So it's something which is very, very big. This discipline is very big, my dear. Yeah.
Interesting. What I want to ask you a question, I was kind of driving into that conversation. Now, how can the political messaging positively affect the youth's engagement?
Now, the political messaging is not so different with other type of messaging that we get so much on social media platforms, because most of these people, they use social media. Because I don't think you can use mainstream media to offer information that is contrary to what people are supposed to be hearing. Then UCC would terminate you. Now, this one means that the information we give, the content we give to our people greatly affects how they reason. It greatly affects how they think. And this is what a politician wants. A politician manipulates your thoughts. That is the true politics. They are so good. So if someone can manipulate your thinking and you look at him as the only solution, you look at his ideas as the only ideas taking you forward, then he has already won your mental system. So as psychologists, we are saying that the message, someone can come up and post a given message, is actually not looking at your body, is looking at your mind. If I can be able to get Ritah's mind, and this lady could think in this direction, then my agenda can get fulfilled. Either you're contesting or you're doing whatever. So as the politicians are bringing out this, the people, how are they prepared to receive it? The cognitive overload I've been talking about, the information that you're giving to someone, is it the right information for that person to get? That's why there is some information, they say that if you're not above 18, you're not supposed to receive this information. So even when we are adults, there's information you're supposed to get, and there's information you're not supposed to get, because you're going to get an overload of information. So such information sometimes include a mixture of what we call fake news. It's possible. Because don't think that everyone, especially in the media, in the social media or mainstream media, has the same agenda with you. There are people who have their own agenda. Especially during elections. So if they feed the information in you, and for you just absorb without using different parameters, as I've talked about, you do what we call filtration of this information. You filter. You find out what to do and when and how. I am telling you, it's a mess. Let me tell you, my dear, I have often seen, so I want to use this platform to talk about this. I have often seen a lot of candidates speak anyhow. Someone comes, you start abusing people. Instead of campaigning and talking about your manifesto, you are abusing specific type of people. That one, you cannot win an election with such. Why? Because I told you, the people are manipulated using ideas. So If you speak anyhow, it's very dangerous. Politicians and leaders must get what we call psychological orientation before they participate in elections, to understand what to say, when to say, and how to say.
Yes.
Be it from the ruling government or from the opposition. This should be a unifying factor, the same way you see we have a national breakfast, which brings the country together. You pray together. You pray for the country, like what we've just had.
Yes.
So when we do that, it means that if I go and stand on podium, I'll not just mention anything. No. So because I've seen even a lot of candidates are losing, if I get the opportunity to sit with these candidates down, I'll tell them they are losing the ground. When you look at the social media, compare 2021 and right now, people are tired. People are saying a candidate must know when to speak, how to speak, and what to speak. But if you get a microphone as a candidate, you start spreading information, you talk this, you talk that. So before you know it, you have not created the ideas, because politics is about ideologies.
Great.
People are manipulated with ideologies. Because at the end of the day, what are you looking for? You are looking at votes. So from the psychological aspect of it, what gives you vote? It is not abusing. It's not music, dancing and bringing musicians and no. What brings votes is coming to people and you speak and you say, in case I am elected into leadership, this is what I'm going to do. So I am surprised that during these elections, I've seen candidates that I least expected in presidential candidate race, and they are having good manifesto, more than the guys I expected. Yes, I'm like, oh my God. They are delivering ideas. They are delivering the future of Uganda. Because we have, Uganda, a lot of people are now learned. So people understand the geopolitics, how the politics of our neighboring states are running.
Yes.
So before people make you a leader of a society, they need to understand from the psychological bit of it, can you handle emotions?
Exactly.
Because if you see a candidate speaking with zeal and say, I'm going to do this, you a candidate, a presidential contender. What if tomorrow you have power and money? What will happen? There are only two things which make leadership. Presidency is power and money. So in case you are speaking like that, you cannot control your emotions. So it means that if tomorrow you have power and money, you can just be worse than Idi Amin. So as we are going into this election, we have a big part and people are watching. So because I want to appreciate the current president. I'm not political, but I want to say that the man has power and money. You as yourself, if you have, for example, right now someone calls and say, Rita, I put 50 million in your account. I'm telling you, you just be watching the time. You want the show to get finished. and you go and deal with this. From the psychological angle, all the challenges that you have been having, even as we are presenting this, you start now imagining. Before you leave, I'm going to sort this, I sort this, I sort this. You start even sweating. That is the power of money.
Start imagining.
Thank you. So I've been admiring this dress, this house, this car. So before you know it, the time is as if it doesn't move. Now I want us as Ugandans to imagine what happens to a man that have all the monies that we are looking for. What happens to a man that has security that we are looking for? So it means that at least he has tried to navigate around power and money. Those two things. So I urge you also, other candidates coming in, to at least try their level best. They speak very well so that people are not anxious. And some of them will even leave the town. Some tribes will even leave Kampala. Others will go back because they feel like when you become president, you chase them away. I've already seen such conversations in the social media, whereby a given segment of people, they are saying, this type of people, Jew. You pass here.
That's the other side.
Yes, you have done this, you have done this. So when you're going to lead a country or you're going to lead a society, you need everyone. Yeah, this is an integral, this is Uganda. Uganda is made up of various tribes, various community, various ethnicity, various religions. So we need a unifying factor for a candidate. But if we go into election with what we call cognitive biases, we are as from the psychological bit of it, we are not going to be able to distinguish between a hypothesis and reality. So a hypothesis is something which is not reality, which is like a trial.
Like a child.
Yes,
right?
yes, you just, but yes, but reality, what does the reality say? What is on ground? We are going to elections, spread the message of this and this, transformation, development, you know, this and this. At the end of the day, you are going to have a citizenry of people that have a stable mind. Even, let me tell you something, even people who vote, if you do that. But let me tell you something, I've realized we have a lot of voter apathy. Daily Monitor, sometime back 1 month ago, wrote about voter apathy and said, how will voter apathy affect the people? People are scared to vote.
Yes.
People are not interested to vote.
Yes.
Because some of them, they feel what was promised has not been done. That is very true. There are such segment. Because now we are looking at their mental system. There are some people from the mental aspect of it who have lost hope in elections. There are some people who are doing that all because of propaganda. Someone has said elections cannot work. So it means that if we have a lot of voter apathy, there is no clear sensitization of the minds of these people from village levels to tell people that, you know what has been said is not right. At the end of the day, you're going to have a very high voter apathy, which is going to affect the voter turn-up. You realize that the voter turn-up is going to be extremely low. So the votes which are going to be competed between candidates, they are also going to be low. Okay. So at the end of the day, you see, so we need that.
We need that, yes. Time has elapsed, and thank you so much, Mr. Sulait. We shall have you next time.
Thank you.
This is really informative, and it's really important as Ugandans. We are heading into the 2026 general elections. So you need to get someone to guide you mentally, emotionally, physically, to so that you are not distressed or discomforted from where you are. Thank you for watching the Coffee Break. My name is Ritah Nandera, and let me wish you a blessed Independence Day.
Happy Independence.
And we wish you well. Bye-bye.
Bye.